Shut up and sit down.
I see you have not lost your charm.
Not a little bit. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Con and Bob podcast, the long-awaited return. Dude, how are you, man?
I am great, buddy. I am excited to be back.
Yes, it's been so long, eh? It's been so long.
I know. Like, you asked me today, just because we always now have to confirm, oh, are you good? Are you good?
Yeah.
And I told you I'm itching. I'm itching to be back.
It's good to see you, man. It's legitimately good to see you. It's been a long time since, like, we've even spoke. Yeah, it's been a long time, man. But no, we're
off and
we're finally back, though, eh? Like, it's good to be back, and I mean, it almost feels like with the return of Con and Bob, wrestling seems to have stepped its game up a little bit more, hey? In just the recent
100%.
weeks. Ooh,
100%.
It knew that Con and Bob were coming back, so it needed to have, like, a big return episode.
I was going to say, we're back. We've got some new swag to go along with it.
We sure do.
So that we can get our pod going at its highest level.
Yep, we got to get those sips in, right? Out of those official cups right there.
Some kombucha tea out of the Bob and Con pen, writing it down.
You're just a walking talking like vending machine at points, like a Con and Bob vending machine. That's what you're all about.
100%.
But man, like, we've got so much to cover here, and we only got an hour. Only got an hour because we actually have a time limit that we have to hit now with, the change in schedule. So we're just going to jump right into it. Raw, January 7th, 2019. Before we discuss the show whatsoever, did you like it or did you hate it? One or the other?
I liked it.
Yeah, liked it.
I thought it was fine. There were moments that were good. There were moments that weren't as good. But yeah, I liked it. I have nothing to complain about.
Yeah, there was probably like one or two segments which were kind of weird on the show, but like considering what we used to have for Monday Night Raw, this is like leaps and bounds better already. There is a bit of a change. You can feel it. You can see it with the style of matches. They're just a little different. The promos feel different. It does feel like a fresh product. So it's good to see that they're at least evolving the product with the times. But anyways, yes, we start off with Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins getting into a big ol' brawl. I thought it was really good because Lashley, this brought some heat onto him. Seth Rollins, it's elevating him back to that fiery Seth Rollins that we saw at the start of 2018 there. It's good to see him back, at the top of his game. Yeah,
I liked it. It was a fun way to start the show, especially obviously, just we'll talk about it, but the tragedy and the loss of Mean Gene earlier in the week. So a lot of people probably thought, oh, they're going to kick it off with Mean Gene. They're going to like a kind of honoring him. I thought that for sure. I don't know what you thought, but I thought, oh, they're going to kick it off with a nice the 10-bell salute, like all the superstars out there, maybe type thing, or Hulk coming out type thing. But
I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad that was in the middle of the show.
Yeah, it was nice. It was just different because here I am sitting there. All right, here we go. Let's get sad.
Yeah,
let's get sad.
And instead we got a pretty good segment to open the show. Yeah. Which when I'm also seeing these two superstars together, I'm just thinking this is benefiting both of them. This is one of those feuds where it elevates both of them because Bobby Lashley gets entered into a feud with a guy who is world champion material in Seth Rollins, and he hasn't really had anybody to fight like that yet. Sami Zayn is still a mid-carder, and he was kind of stuck in a weird trio with Drew McIntyre and everybody else. So it's nice to see that he's getting a singles feud that isn't against somebody in the mid-card, because Seth Rollins is a main event player, so he benefits from it, and Seth Rollins also is going to benefit from being with a larger superstar like Bobby Lashley, because he works well against them.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's, like you said, definitely going to benefit. I think that this could be the start of where, because you and I talked about it a long time ago, Bobby Lashley is not a main event player unless he's a heel, unless they do it right.
Exactly.
And I think that they're on the way to do it.
We've been saying that for a while, that they've been on the way to doing it right. I think this is the closest they've been to the right Bobby Lashley. They've got his character figured out. Leo Rush is clicking with him. He's got the nickname now, the Almighty Bobby Lashley. It's good. It's moving in the right direction. Fans legitimately don't like Bobby Lashley, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, considering how hyped he was to come into the WWE less than a year ago. So
we'll talk about it later in the pod as well. But the thing that he does late in the show felt main event.
Yeah,
and it was in the main event, but it felt like, oh, this is a main event heel, right? Like he can get there definitely.
Exactly. Yeah. But anyways, this led into a 3-on-3 match, which was good. I thought it was a very good match, actually. Worked really well. I feel like it probably could have been 7 to 10 minutes shorter. One commercial break shorter. It felt like that extra commercial break pushed the match a little too long. And thus, we got, the finish of the match was really hot, and the start of the match was really hot, but the middle dragged on for a little bit there.
I felt that too, yeah.
Yeah, so, I think if they would have just shortened that a little bit and gave a little more time to Ambrose and Rollins in the main event, not rushed it along, I think that would have also been really beneficial to the show overall, but now I'm nitpicking at it. Anyways, good match, very good match, and Seth is hot again.
Yeah, I thought that match was a solid match. Like you said, it helped Seth for sure. It helped pretty much all the heels felt good in it.
They did.
Seemed good in it. John is John, so, but it was a good match overall. Yeah. I enjoyed it. And Finn was the 6th, right? So
yep. Yeah, it was
it's
Rollins.
It's just nice Finn being there.
Yeah, right? It was Rollins, Cena, Balor defeating Ambrose, McIntyre, and Lashley.
And something feels like Finn is going to be the next Intercontinental contender.
He should, right? He should move into that position.
It kind of feels like that's the way that it's going because of this. It feels like, okay, Seth, you're done with Dean. We're going to move you into this feud with Lashley. Lashley and you can go at it. We're going to need someone for Dean to go against. And Finn is that guy.
He's the logical step.
Yeah. And Finn is the type of guy who represents the Intercontinental, right? Like a workhorse type guy, like a superstar, beloved by it just feels Intercontinental.
He does. He's got that mid-card champion written all over him, no doubt about it.
100%.
Okay, then it was time to get sad. Hulk Hogan comes out, his return to the WWE. Obviously, there was some backlash surrounding Hulk Hogan coming back in any way. Myself, I thought it was a cheap way to bring Hogan back, exploiting a death to bring Hogan where he can't really get booed out of the building. However, it was also the right call when watching the segment unfold in front of our eyes to bring him back, because you noticed how much the Hulk Hogan character was made from Gene Okerlund. No doubt about that. A fitting tribute to the legend of Mean Gene. And you know what? It brought a tear to my eye when Hulk Hogan was saying you can go up there and while you're up there, you're going to be commentating a match between Macho Man and all the other Lost Legends that were announced in that promo segment. It was very, very touching, and WWE, kudos to you for making an amazing video package.
Yeah, I agree. I really agree that it was kind of a cheap way because there's been tons of talk. Oh, Hogan's coming back soon. Hogan's coming back. How are they going to bring him back? And then constantly it's like, oh, I think he's coming back soon. Doesn't come back. And this was kind of a cheap way to be like, oh, nobody can get mad if we bring him back for this.
Yep. And people got mad. No question about it. People got mad until the segment was done. On stream before, I was even saying myself, this is not really the right way to be bringing Hulk Hogan back. And I think every single fan who's been paying attention does have that same sentimental feeling that it was not the right way. But when you did see the segment evolve in front of you, you're like, okay, yeah, this is really the right call. It's the right tribute. You wouldn't really want anybody else doing that final promo, right?
Yeah, because there's a lot of other guys that just didn't have that same kind of rapport with Mean Gene, right? And I think the biggest thing for me that I liked about the segment was the fact that he got out there and immediately dropped character.
Mm-hmm.
And he was no longer Hulk Hogan. He was him, right? And he was like, he started speaking as himself and not as the character of Hulk Hogan.
Exactly.
As just like, this is a man who's lost a dear friend, someone that he's known for a very long time, someone that he's worked with for a very long time. And I think that was the strongest part of that segment. And I think that it benefited the overall segment and just the credibility of having Hogan come back right there. Just having him be him and not, oh, listen here, brother, right?
Yeah.
And then the fact that he played on that, he was like, this is what Gene would have wanted. He loved to entertain, blah, 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 blah. And then like one more time for Gene, here's Hulk Hogan, basically, right?
Yep.
So I think that was a very nice way to do it.
It was. Yeah, it was a touching tribute without a doubt. I mean, that video package, whew. Okay, then we had a weird way to do a tag team match, a lumberjack match, because with tag team matches, you think about it, you got 4 men in the ring already. What's stopping the other person from going around and saving the person who's been thrown out of the ring, right? And I mean, you saw that a couple times in this match, but it's just a weird thing to have in a tag team match for lumberjacks. However, match was good, very good. Talent involved, the Revival, Gable, and Rude. You're gonna get good matches every single time. Very good match though. That combination where Gable did I think it was the backflip into the suplex, and then Bobby Roode then came over and delivered the neck breaker off the top rope after Gable did that backflip. That was impressive. Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was some good tag team wrestling this week with some really interesting moves.
There was.
But yeah, no, it was a good match. It does it not feel like Revival is kind of turning face slowly?
They are absolutely 150% slowly turning face, and you know what it is? It's because the fans are clamoring for essentially a revival of the tag team division. They are the team to lean in with that. True to tag team wrestling, they have been screwed over countless times. Lucha House Party rules, remember those things? That was against the Revival majorly. And then you've got now in a couple weeks in a row them losing, them just losing.
Sorry.
What's that? What's up?
You reminded me of Lucha House Party rules against the Revival, and then it made me think of the one match when it turned into a 3-on-1.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like,
what was that?
Like, that's just straight up a 3-on-1. That's not, and then just the commentary banter between Renee and Corey during it. Yeah, that was ridiculous. I'm glad that it's past that they're moving on.
Me too. I'm glad that they've at least moved on to good tag team matches. Mm-hmm. Now, the only thing that I'm going to say here is that Revival have been getting screwed over for a very long time, but it's getting to the point where they are starting to lose too often against too weak of threats.
Clean too.
Clean,
like not,
yeah. Well, I mean
clean-ish.
Cleanish. There's usually a reason for their loss. At least they have that in their back pocket. But they're proving to us that they aren't able to get the job done. And in the casual fan's eyes, that is a thing that is tough to root for, especially a team that you are trying to turn babyface. So we said this while the B team had the tag team titles, that it needed to end up with the Revival capturing the tag team championships from them. That didn't happen. Mm-hmm. It is now 150% get on the Revival bandwagon train, or they're done. There's nowhere else for them to go if they do not win these tag team championships.
Was AOP out there as part of the Lumberjack?
They weren't. It was kind of weird. I thought they should have been. That would have been a good story to continue on.
Where are they? What is going on?
Well, they were involved in a pissing segment, and now they're off TV. So,
yep. I wonder if they pissed off Vince somehow.
Maybe somehow. But Yeah, I think that WWE is just slightly missing the mark with who should be the tag team champions right now. Don't get me wrong, Gable and Rude, they're a fun tag team to watch, but they got the championship quick in a feud that we just didn't care about, and it really should be the Revival holding onto those championships like they did down in NXT for a long time and reviving the division. That's what they should get.
The thing with Gable and Rude, too, is they're a funny team. They're fun, whatnot. Like, obviously, the song and everything. But they kind of just took Gable and made him, like, Rude 2.0, right? Like, in the sense, like, they didn't keep his character, really, almost. They just, like, were like, here's a robe. You're going to go out to Glorious. And you're now Rude and the other guy. Like, you're, like, Rude's sidekick. Right?
Exactly.
And it's like, no, Gable is too talented to be somebody's sidekick. He can't be a sidekick. He's a great tag team wrestler. Sure, keep him as a tag team wrestler for as long as you want. Eventually, hopefully, I hope he gets that mid-card run as a singles star, but keep him as tag team wrestler, but make a tag team. Don't just make it him some guy's sidekick, right?
Yep. Exactly.
As far as a character standpoint. In ring, they're pretty, like, it seems pretty equal, and he gets to show off and ring a lot. But as far as character standpoint, especially when you're the tag team champions, I don't know. For me, it's just a little too sidekick.
Fair enough. It almost feels like when they started the duo out together, they were going to lead to a Gable or Bobby Roode turning heel on the other person.
Yeah.
That's how the whole thing started out. And it was almost like they ran out of tag teams, credible tag teams for the title. And they're like, well, we've got these guys on over here. They're somewhat working together. So let's throw a robe on them and be done with it. That's probably how Vince thought about it. So now they're their tag team champions. It's a very forced group. It still feels forced. And it's why I don't think this tag team reign is going to be very long for them. I think they might be the filler champs.
I hope so. I don't know if it was, we want Revival to be the champs, but we don't want them beating AOP.
Which seems weird. I would have had Revival take out AOP to establish themselves. Because AOP, they're so big. They're so big, right? And we've seen them work well with the Revival down in NXT that we know they can go. So why not have the Revival, topple AOP, be the ones to dethrone them?
Especially as a face champion, like if you're trying to make Revival face champions and be like oh, yes, they finally did it. They got to the top of the mountain type thing in the tag team wrestling. They finally are champions on the main roster. Beat the big guys. Do David versus Goliath, right? Like, it's corny, it's cheesy,
it works.
but it works.
It works.
It works.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's corny, it's cheesy. It's like the Con and Bob podcast, but it works.
Exactly. But it works.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on to Elias versus Corbin because we got to get moving through the rest of the show here.
Yeah,
you and me,
so long.
Oh, I know. You and me, we just get so sidetracked, don't we? But anyways, Elias versus Corbin. Match was fine as expected. They don't really have great chemistry together. It is what it is. Corbin defeated Elias with a pinfall. Now, Elias, he is so over because of his ability to deliver a promo and play guitar. He's funny, right?
He's gotten really good at the guitar, by the way.
He has, very good.
Much better than when he started. I just wanted to say that.
But I'm going to ask you a question there, Mr. Robert. When was the last time you saw Elias pick up a meaningful win? A legitimately...
That wasn't a tag
team that wasn't tag team or anything. When was the last time you saw this? Can you remember? Because for me, it's left my brain. A meaningful one that where you're like, oh, Elias is in the middle of a massive push right now. He's about to be shot right up.
He beat Bobby Lashley at some point, didn't he?
Yes, he did. That was I'm pretty sure, at least. I don't want to quote you on that, but I think he did.
I think he won at TLC. Were they in a match together at TLC?
Good question.
I think that was the last time that was like, oh, this is a meaningful win for him. But it was also a weird one because it's two guys that needed a push. That's the thing that they do too much. They take two guys that need a push and put them against each other. And I'm like, somebody has to lose this rivalry.
Okay, here we go. I found it.
But it almost got 50-50-ish. Like, it was like Bobby was destroying Elias all through the Monday Night Raws. And then at TLC, Elias won. And we were like, who won this rivalry?
Yeah. But you know what?
Beat him 8 times coming in, and then Elias picks up 1 win.
What you just said there about the 50-50 booking, that's a very excellent way to actually pass this back over to TLC, because remember, it was a ladder match that the rules weren't explained to us of what it was. Right. Elias grabbed the guitar, so he won the match, but then Bobby Lashley used the guitar across the back of Elias.
Right.
So legitimate 50-50 booking at its...
in one match. They managed to 50-50 book in one match. The only way that you could literally do more of that is if you had a draw in an Iron Man.
Yeah, there you go.
And that would at least be interesting, because you're like, oh, what? That's crazy, an Iron Man match, and it was a draw. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they become a tag team and become the Bar and be awesome.
Yeah, there you go. But like, so anyways, yeah, Elias hasn't really picked up too many meaningful wins, and when he does, he gets buried afterwards a little bit. So is Elias just going to be one of those mid-card acts who, to get over, all he has to do is go cut a promo, and then goes in the ring, has the fan support, but because he's not an elite in-ring worker, he never gets the massive push to go along with it? That's seeming like it might be his career path.
I think he has the look and the ability to maybe hit that main title spot at some point.
Okay. It would take a very hot feud, wouldn't it? It would take a really hot feud to get there.
Definitely not soon. But he is the type of guy that could win the Money in the Bank, right? And get to talk, right? Because
that'd be good. I'd take that.
Those are the best types of Money in the Bank people, the ones that can just talk and sell it.
The Miz.
Because the Miz, right?
Mm-hmm. So
I think he could be a really interesting Money in the Bank winner. I don't think this year, maybe next year, depending on how it goes. This year's tough because, like,
there's a lot of candidates this year, isn't there?
Yeah, and also this year is, if you give it to him this year, I wouldn't want him to lose his opportunity.
He does seem like he could be somebody who does lose his opportunity, doesn't he?
Yeah. He I think has enough fan base with him and fan support that he shouldn't be one that loses his opportunity. And I think that if he won it this year, if he cashed it in within 6 months, he would lose.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
But also, they were not going to do a lose again, I don't think, because
they're starting to
lost last year.
They're starting to overuse the amount of people losing, and it's because they don't want to switch the championship that often, right? You think about it, you got to basically have a new champion every single year from a person who wins the Money in the Bank. That's that's actually very difficult to book, unless you want quick title changes. So the answer might honestly be go back down to just one Money in the Bank match, and they could cash in on either champion. I think that would make for some very exciting. I think the cash in on either champion makes it more exciting. It's almost like the Royal Rumble as well. Yep. How you can pick either side. I think it would be more exciting if they start doing that again, which they never specified whether it was or wasn't. They just kind of said, like, if you win it on Raw, you go to Raw. If you win it on SmackDown, you go to SmackDown. Like, at least they're back down to the one briefcase for the males and one briefcase for the females, which is good. But I would like to see it be able to cash in on either brand, because that creates an opportunity for a legitimate surprise. You think about it, when you're watching an episode of Raw or SmackDown, and like when Carmella had her championship, every time the women's champion was knocked down somewhere, you're like on your toes a little bit, like looking in the back, like, oh, okay, when's the Carmella going to come out? And then she doesn't, and you're a little bit disappointed. Yes. Imagine for having to do that for both Raw and SmackDown. Look out for the champion always coming. Could this person be coming from the back who isn't on this show right now? Yeah, exactly. That would be really cool. Even just the mind game aspect of it. If Elias won, say, on Raw, and then he shows up to SmackDown the next day, it's like, oh, you just the cut to him walking through the back carrying the briefcase in one hand, guitar in the other, and just like, or over his shoulder, and then just all of a sudden hearing Graves
or Phillips just being like, "Oh my God, Elias is here tonight!" Like, oh, could we see a title? Right? Like, it just gets you excited.
It does,
like,
yeah.
Oh, what?
Elias is in
Maybe.
the building, or
So.
imagine Elias just sitting there in the crowd with his briefcase, just on a different show, just like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm right here." Like,
exactly.
there's opportunity for that. I would really like to see that happen in
100%.
with this year's Money in the Bank. Anyways, we're getting way too far ahead of ourselves and not even covering the stuff at task.
All right.
Yeah.
Up next,
Lesnar Strowman. We're gonna blow right through this because Lesnar Strowman, they didn't give us much to talk about. So
I did not like it.
Yeah, it sucked.
At all.
Straight up not good. What was the point of Strowman? Like, here's the thing. We have seen this match between them already. We've seen Strowman versus Lesnar. It's not a new thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to tease physicality between the two behemoths, but we've seen it.
We've seen it.
This is not new. The event at last year's Royal Rumble was a triple threat: Strowman, Lesnar, Kane, and you tried to book the exact same story that Lesnar's a bit of a coward and only attacks when he's ready. We know this. Give us something different, WWE. That was backwards booking. That was 2018 booking right there.
Yes, very, very quickly. How they should be booking it is not Strowman angry at Lesnar. How they should, in my opinion, how they should be booking it is Strowman to the universe saying, "It is my time.
Yeah.
It is my time. I am ready. I wasn't ready last year. I was not ready last time I had the opportunity. But now I am ready. I am back, and it is my time. I will be the Universal Champion." And don't even include Lesnar in it, right? Maybe have Heyman just being like, "Good luck" type thing. But don't make it about Strowman being, "I'm stronger than you."
Make it about the title.
Strowman mentally, he is prepared. He is ready. It is his time to be the champion.
Agreed.
And
absolutely
I
agreed.
would be excited for that. But now that's just... Ugh.
So I want to ask you this, man, because the build-up for Strowman throughout 2018 was based off the fans' disdain for Roman Reigns. The alternative guy, the alternative big man who was somewhat entertaining, to the fans. He was their alternative. Now that Roman Reigns is gone, are we starting to see how exposed Braun Strowman really is when it comes to mic work, when it comes to a wide range of emotions? All he does is scream into the microphone. All he can do is act intimidating. Now, don't get me wrong, there is quality in a performer like that, but we are starting to see the drop-off of what a main event talent is versus what the fans wanted for so long, and Strowman, to me, is not quite pushing through that glass ceiling. He's up there, but he's a big man. What else you got?
I don't know if it's because of him or if it's because of the writing not allowing him to go to something different, but how they should have done it is start to show his emotion more. I don't like the fact that they had him in this promo with Heyman and Lesnar in the back, because there were moments where he just wasn't sure. Like, you saw him waiting in the ring and there was just silence. And then his
timing is so off. His timing is really off. It was exposed with Heyman.
Let him cut a solo, right? Like, let him cut a promo, just him in the ring to the fans.
But that's the thing. That's the thing with the fans. When he's addressing the fans, it's the same thing over and over again, right? It's the exact same promo cut every single time. That you're gonna get these hands. Okay, and what else? All right, Strowman, tell us what else. We got to see more from Braun Strowman if he's going to be in this main event scene. There's probably a reason why he hasn't been giving the top title yet. All right, we're back, guys. Sorry about that. Just some internet troubles between me and Mr. Robert over there, but we're back now. I'm sure that
it was me.
I'm sure that you guys didn't even notice that we were gone. All right. Anyways, we're gonna move on to.
You blinked and and you're back.
Exactly. Like, there's no better way to do it. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the what was the match? Apollo Crews, Ember Moon. Yeah, Apollo Crews, Ember Moon versus Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox. Good win for the right team, and what a sell by Alicia Fox onto that Eclipse. Wow. That was good. Other than that, though, hey, it
was okay.
It was what it was.
It was the right team won.
Yep.
Like you said, does.
Exactly. Time for a moment of bliss, eh? So.
Yeah.
Interesting. Right? Interesting. Yeah, I think there is there's ability for something good to happen there. Like with the moment of bliss, I don't think it was great, but I don't
think it had the opportunity to be great. I think it got interrupted too quickly. I don't think that they really got into any sort of actual chance to have the show, right? I think, what is your opinion on Nia's character?
Her character?
Yes.
I get it. I get it. I get why they're leaning into it. She's put it this way. She's made a bad thing into a good thing. Like, with the fan backlash, she leaned into it. She finally got that heel heat that was missing from her original character. But it's the fact that her character is just that she's annoying to be annoying with the fans. And there's really not much else to it. She's just, I don't know, man. It's weird because
stumbly on the mic.
Yeah. Well, if we're talking strictly,
I didn't say tonight.
She was exposed with a one-liner by Sasha Banks there by saying, "What line, bitch?" And you're really stumbled by that. She kept replying like, I'm a bitch, not the bitch, or what, I mean, or she's the bitch, but I'm not a bitch, or something. Whatever it was, it was weird that she kept rolling on with that. It was like you almost saw her real life personality come out there, where she just was like, oh, I don't have a good comeback, so I'm just gonna repeat the same thing you said in a very sarcastic tone. That seems to be Nia Jax.
Yeah, I don't like it right now. I don't like how much main screen time she's getting when people like Bailey or
Here's
Ember
the thing, man. I do think though that she is falling further and further down the card. I said this because when that incident happened with Becky Lynch, in wrestling it's very rare where fans legitimately hate a superstar, right? We're so aware that there's a difference between a character and a superstar. It's like hating an actor for a character they play on a show, right? It's happening far less and less now, where you can separate the two. However, there was no separation for Nia Jax and her character. The fans legitimately hated her, and so of course WWE had to lean into that. They had to lean into the fact that she was getting this much heat, but she got a couple wins here and there on TV. She never won a championship, right, with the Heat. And now she lost a number one contendership to Sasha Banks. We are starting to see the punishment rolled out for legitimately breaking the face of Becky Lynch,
their top superstar.
Yeah.
I think that if they wanted to keep her at a level of any sort of prominence, lean into the Tamina and her. Let them be a dominant tag team.
Yeah, but that's the thing, man. They're not. They don't want it. This is the punishment for Nia Jax. She's going to be the one putting people over now for the next God knows how long. They're going to build her up.
Stop giving her talking lines.
You know what, though? Listen to this. When you're asking to stop giving her talking lines, right? Well, if she's going to be losing in the ring, she's got to pick up heat somewhere. And if that is by talking, if that gets the fans to hate her and want to see her lose, lean into that. Keep giving her mic time if that's what the fans want to see. As long as it doesn't equal a push for Nia Jax, because I don't think any of us want to see that.
All right, last point of this before we move on to the actual match. And we'll quickly fly through that, is I don't care. Her character is not making me want to see her lose. It's making me want to see her less.
Okay. All right.
It's not as a fan. Like, for me, I don't know.
So you got go away. You got go away heat for Nia Jax.
Yes. Mine is stop. Like, use someone else, anyone else. Make, like, literally at least Alicia is a heel that is annoying that I don't mind hearing on the mic, right?
Okay.
I just feel like her promos for Nia are too stumbly. I feel like they're not clean. They seem like she gets lost, and like
Definitely.
Her true self comes out, where she's like, I don't know what to say to this. And it's like, oh, come on. Just be a dominant person and be a mean person on the mic and whatever, and commit to it, or be a coward. Don't ride the line, right? Like, can't commit to a character.
I see where you're going with that. For you, fair enough. I see where you're going and coming from with that. But honestly, they tried just be the dominant person beforehand, and it didn't really get her anywhere. They tried the beloved babyface, trying to be beloved babyface for, using weight issues to try to get sympathy with the fans. They tried that. They went to her turning on, what was it? She turned on Ronda Rousey, right? Or she turned
on Ember.
Ember, right? Turned on Ember, right? They tried doing that. The only time she has gotten any relevancy was when the fans legitimately hated her and gave her go away heat. I get it. But if this is the first time that Nia Jax has ever had a solid, because it has been a solid run, she's getting lots of TV time, she's getting lots of mic time, and she's not knocking it out of the park, but she's getting fans to hate it enough to not want to see her on the TV, yet we keep watching.
That's fair. I just think, you try 3 things and none of them work out great.
Yeah.
Commit to someone, and that's what I'm really excited about this call up from NXT. I think Lacey Evans is going to go Raw. I think Nikki has to go SmackDown. And I think Lacey Evans on Raw can help a lot.
I agree. Lacey Evans is going to kill it on the main roster. Her gimmick is something to watch out for. Just like this whole be a lady. Oh my God, the heat that she's going to get from this
100%.
is so good. I don't think people are hyping up this character enough that's coming here, because...
Well, the more that I'm seeing this promo of them all, the 2 that I'm most excited for are Lacey Evans and Nikki Cross.
For me, it's Lacey Evans and EC3.
I know, but just from the promo. I mean,
just from the promo. Fair enough.
And listening to the promo, those are the 2 that I'm like, I'm excited for that the most. I know EC3 is going to be awesome, but
he's going to kill it on this roster,
the promo itself, those 2 are the ones that, if I was not a every week fan, if I was not a fan that pays attention constantly or even knows everyone constantly, and I just saw that promo, for me, I would go, that girl and that girl seem like characters that I want to know, right? Just the play with Nikki, and then the ladies, right? And it's just, I'm excited. That's
me too. I am too.
The match itself, the match itself, Sasha beat Nia.
Yeah, I will give Sasha all the credit in the world, because she got Nia Jax's best match out of her in a long time. It was bumpy at certain places, but Nia Jax has not had a better match in a long time. That match was actually fairly good for a Nia Jax match. By the way, how smooth was that bank statement transition? Where she jumped over the top rope, did a couple barrel rolls, and then right into the bank statement. I loved that finish. That was awesome. Yeah. Okay, on to Seth versus Dean, right? Because that's the next thing. I'm not missing anything?
Seth and Dean.
Sweet. Falls Count Anywhere match, and this was really good. It reminded me of the Hardcore title, the type of segments you'd get back then with the backstage segment. And taking bumps on concrete, taking, some really tough bumps. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose deserve all the credit in the world for what they put their bodies through in that match.
Oh, 100%. It was and Dean more so than Seth.
Yeah,
obviously.
Dean sold that. Dean's showing what a despicable heel who can sell is all about. Because Dean Ambrose... Sorry, you go ahead. Your point's probably better.
One thing I was going to say about this match, not the match aspect, is I get confused a little bit with how through the entire night, it's Corey Graves is the heel commentator and Renee Young is the face commentator. And then all of a sudden during Seth and Dean, it flips. And I like it and I don't. I like it because we know the truth. We know that Renee is married to Dean. We know that. So it's like, okay, this kind of makes sense. Like she's supporting her husband in a way without directly saying, go, baby. But it's just weird when you're watching. For a fan that doesn't know that she is his wife, all of a sudden you're watching Monday Night Raw and you're like, oh, I like this girl. She's supporting the good guys. I like her. And then all of a sudden the last match of the night, she jumped ship to the other side, and the guy that was being a dick through the whole night is now supporting the good guy, and you're like, what's happening?
I get that.
Why is this a thing?
Mm-hmm.
But the match itself.
I will say this much, though, on that point. I do think that is nice to have the dynamic that it's not necessarily all good and all bad. Just because you're a good person doesn't mean you have to be rooting for the good people at all times. Showing that this really, really good person is with this despicable character, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of nice. Anyways, though, the match was good, though. How about the finish? Because I was seeing a lot of people say they hated the finish. Do you think it was them legitimately hating the finish, or them hating the fact that Bobby Lashley was the one doing the finish, and that there wasn't some sort of bigger reveal?
I think...
because it made sense. Don't get me wrong. It made absolutely entire sense for Bobby Lashley to come out. It continued their feud from earlier on. People just didn't like it because it was too predictable.
So I think people need to shut up.
Yeah!
Woo!
That's right.
I think people might have been a little upset that Seth didn't win the Intercontinental title back. Like, whatever. Who cares? Seth is showing that, as you said at the start of the pod, he is a main title contender, right? He has that power. He's going on. This feud with Bobby is what pushes him to that, I think. So
I agree.
It gets him out of the mid card. It gets him out of the Intercontinental picture. And all of a sudden he turns his head and goes, screw that title. Not screw that title, but I don't care about that. That's in the past. I'm going to kick Bobby's ass, and I'm going to go on and win the WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania.
I was going to say, there is two people who are probably going to win the Royal Rumble this year, one or the other. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, or Drew McIntyre. One of those two men, you heard it here first, is taking the title away from Brock Lesnar. It's not going to be Braun Strowman. It's going to be one of Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania taking that title away from Brock. Because who else is there? To me, Seth Rollins, if he beats Bobby Lashley, goes on, wins the Rumble, you know how much momentum he's going to have. And the fact that he's got in his back pocket that he beat Bobby Lashley, someone who's very similar structure to Brock Lesnar. So, hey, I don't know. But what about you? What are you thinking?
I think it's Seth versus Brock at WrestleMania. It's the next thing besides having Brock and Roman, right? It's Roman's brother, right? His Shield brother. His brother that supported him. He's the good one still, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Brock versus Seth at Mania for the title. I think Braun drops and has that feud with Drew finally.
Okay.
A bit more. And that's a WrestleMania match that it's literally a battle of giants.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
I would want to see that, right? In some sort of powerful match, right? Just beat the piss out of each other, you two. Go out there. Have fun. And that'll be good. I think that Seth could be the one to. I don't know that he wins the Rumble, but I think he faces Brock.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. Raw overall. Good show.
Safe
to say?
Yep, very good
Smackdown?
show. Yep, let's go through SmackDown. We're going to roll through it fairly quickly. Just like SmackDown had a good pace to it, we're going to give it a good pace with our review. Yeah. So, anyways, opened it up with Daniel Bryan cutting essentially what was the same promo he's been cutting for the last couple of weeks. However, he's so good at his delivery that it makes you forget that he's literally telling you the same thing over and over again, which is really, really a testament to Daniel Bryan and how good he is on that microphone. It's a great character to have in 2019. This over-the-top vegan character, where he cares about the earth so much that he's gonna shove it in your face. Like, that's the type of character Daniel Bryan is right now, and he's essentially, Twitter vegans in real life. It's so awesome to see. Yeah.
Outside of being the dick, right?
Yeah, outside of being the dick on top of it. But, he's those Twitter vegans, and I don't mean this in, a bad way or singling out a single group, but Twitter vegans, we all know who I'm talking about.
Yes. He's better than you. He's oh, look at this toxin that you're putting into your body. He's better than you because he's vegan.
Exactly.
And he's playing on that fact that, like, not a lot of vegans that I know are like that, but there are a lot of vegans that like to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Put it this way. If you got a friend who's a vegan, you know it.
Yeah. So it's the aspect of he's doing a good job. I don't know. I like it. And he's angry and just like over the top a dick. I liked it.
It was really good.
Little segment. And I thought that the Truth.
I was going to say Truth attacking him there was really a nice callback to a couple weeks ago.
Yep. It shows again, like, Truth was a main title holder in TNA when TNA was still something.
Well, yeah, like not too long ago, R-Truth was competing for the WWE Championship on Monday Night Raw against John Cena. Like, that's got to be only, what, like 5-6 years ago, something like that? Not that long ago. Maybe 7 years. It continues
to show Truth. Hey, Truth is a guy that, I don't know, if you drop the gimmick aspect of it, that, he's goofy, he still can go in the ring. He still can be a title contender. Exactly. Not a main title, maybe, at this point, but he could be a US title contender.
There's value in R-Truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Yep.
100%. Because he puts on good matches, too. That's the other thing.
He really does.
He's athletic enough at his age, shocking, amazing. Mm-hmm. How athletic he is at his age that people don't talk about that is crazy.
Yep.
And then the aspect that AJ attacked him after Daniel won the match, obviously.
Right call.
Would have been odd if Truth won, but beating the champion.
Yeah, imagine.
Clean, just like kicks his ass. And then AJ attacked him. I don't know. I'm excited for this match. I think it's going to be good.
It's got me hyped up for a match that we've already seen, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to have some callbacks to previous matches and the rivalry as a whole. And I think it's going to be fresh and exciting at the same time.
Couldn't agree more, my friend. Then we got both of our match of the week coming up next. Yes. This match, we got to talk a little bit about it because the talent involved on paper, you thought going into this that, oh my God, this is going to be a really good match. Rey Mysterio, Mustafa Ali teaming up to take on the team of Samoa Joe and Andrade Cien Almas. Holy crap, that's a lot of good talent in one ring. And holy crap, did they deliver. Oh,
yeah, 100%. It was wild. Mm-hmm. From start to finish, I enjoyed this match. There wasn't really a moment that I was like, I don't know. I enjoyed it all. The athleticism from all of them, Samoa Joe included, because everyone knows that he's one of the most athletic, bigger guys.
That was crazy. That was crazy, by the way, that Samoa Joe was almost an afterthought in this match. Like, you know, that's crazy.
I know. And just the aspect of good versus bad, right? Rey is literally a top chain face of all time, right? And then having the aspect of Ali teaming up with someone who he definitely looked up to, an idol of his, against Almas and Joe, who Almas
comes from a lucha libre, that's his background. He definitely looked up to Rey Mysterio, so there was so much story going on in there, and then you just got the dick Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and Joe used it like that shoulder block on Ali when he just destroyed him, and Ali can sell. And I'm gonna just toot my own horn that not long ago, you and I think it was on a stream, you and I talked about Ali, and I told you he was going to be a main roster player.
You did. You told me.
A higher level.
I did not believe you.
To be important, and eventually he even has the potential to possibly hold the main title on the main show.
Yeah.
On
I did not believe you.
I don't know about Raw, but definitely on SmackDown.
Yep, definitely didn't believe you at the time, but man, it's looking like he's got that potential in him, doesn't he?
Also, that move,
the Canadian Destroyer,
Almas,
the Canadian Destroyer. Holy crap!
The way that they went into it was wild.
Yeah, it really was. I've never seen a transition like that into a Canadian Destroyer that was so smooth.
From a man who has been wrestling for 30 years or whatever.
That goes to show the ability.
25 years.
That goes to show the ability of Andrade Cien Almas. Because that man, I don't think anybody else on the main roster does that move. I don't think anybody is the seller, because with the Canadian Destroyer, it's nothing to do with the person.
Wild transition into it.
It's nothing to do with the person who is delivering the move.
The whole match was great, and then that move made me be like,
yeah, exactly. But it has absolutely nothing to do with the person delivering the move. It's all on the person taking it. To throw yourself backwards like that, it's really a tough move to pull off for the person receiving it.
The combination moves, right? The combination moves like the 619, the 450. Mm-hmm. Then that moment where I thought, oh, is Mustafa Ali about to do the 619? And then he didn't.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna as well.
I think every single person watching was like, is Ray telling him to do this? Is he giving him his blessing to do the 619? This is gonna be amazing.
And then he just flips over top. Yeah.
He just flips over and takes out Joe, and I was like, oh, that's cheeky, but I loved it. Every minute. Match of the week, hands down.
Hands down, without a doubt. I want to see Ray versus Andrade Cien Almas in a feud. Please give me that feud. I want to see more of that. That needs to happen. Okay, then we got Rusev delivering what I thought was maybe one of his best promos ever. Mm-hmm. The emotion that he conveyed, there was something different with this Rusev character, and I like it a lot.
It wasn't Rusev the champion. It wasn't Rusev the Bulgarian Brute. It was Rusev the husband.
Yep.
I liked it.
He spoke from the heart. It was really good.
I thought it was good. I don't know. You know how much I love Ruru. Mm. And I thought it was just a good promo, and it wasn't him just being, especially him as of the last year, right? Being all Rusev Day, right? It was him being real for a minute, and you're like, okay, I feel it. That's a person that I can connect to.
Yep, I agree.
In that moment.
I agree.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, then we had the Bar versus Usos. And going into this match, I thought, what a weird way to have a number one contendership match where only half the people in the match are competing for a championship opportunity. It felt very weird.
Because the other half are the champions.
Yeah, it felt like this easily could have been a match where it was like, the Usos versus Gallows and Anderson for the number one contendership opportunity.
Yeah, you can have Usos take on any... Or, I get it. You want to have Miz and Shane versus it. Make it Miz and Shane.
Make it Miz and Shane. Yeah, because the whole part of earlier was that Shane didn't want to put himself right in a tag team match. Well, you could have easily had, or not right in a tag team match. Sorry, right in a tag team title match. So you could have easily had them say, okay, this is our chance to prove ourselves. If we beat the Usos, we go on to face the Bar for the tag team titles, and that would have made sense. However, they didn't go that route. Instead, they just went the route of Miz coming out and getting kicked in the face. I get it, but however, I would have liked to see the number one contendership match mean a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Because the Usos were literally just competing against the champions and say, okay, if you beat us, well, you get another opportunity at our titles. To me, that doesn't make sense.
You get another chance to beat us.
Yeah.
And then they didn't beat them.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Why would the Usos ever be given another title opportunity against the Bar in this situation? Oh, hey, if you can beat us, you can then face us for the championships. But guess what? You can't even beat us when the championships aren't on the line. So
exactly,
we'll never get a chance.
And especially,
and I get it. It was a screwy finish, but it was a weak screwy finish.
It was a weak screwy finish, and also especially considering we've seen them face so many times before, there was no need to have this match again. However, it seems like we're done seeing this match, because this also, at the same time as it was weird, it also tied in a lot of stories together, which I really liked. Mm-hmm. Mandy Rose, it looks like it's a different thing we haven't seen in a long time. She's truly just trying to be a home wrecker, essentially. I'm okay with it. It's not the worst television to watch.
No.
It's been fairly entertaining.
I'm a little upset that she actually had her ring attire on underneath. But
but to be quite honest,
I thought it was creative.
Good.
I thought it was nice. I think it was nice in this whole storyline of it. I just thought it was weak, the aspect that you can still reach to your partner as you look back. And on top of that, the thing that really killed it for me is have him turn around, have him move his arm, right? But then in that moment, have a shot of Jay in the ring, diving out to tag his brother.
And then it turns in, like,
and
just be a little more.
At that moment, Jimmy pulls away, not realizing, being like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, he turns back and then boot to the face. Also, just the, like, hit off the ropes. I thought it should have been a brogue kick to hit him off the ropes as well. But this is kind of nitpicky stuff.
It's what we're getting paid the big bucks to do, though, right?
The big bucks.
Yeah, them big dollar.
All right, let's go next.
Yeah, okay. We're down to, what was it? I gotta switch the page. We're down to the main event, man. Woo! Triple threat, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, triple threat main event, number 1 contendership on the line. Becky Lynch,
Good match.
Charlotte, and Carmella. Maybe Carmella's best match to date. It's very close.
Definitely up there.
Yeah,
definitely up there.
It's very, very close. She looked amazing in this match, regardless of the other talent involved. Carmella carried a good portion of that match, and I want to give her absolute dues because she is awesome. Mella is money. Main event Mella. Of course, these 3 women have amazing chemistry in the ring. We've seen it countless times. Any combination of Charlotte with Carmella, Asuka, Becky Lynch, those women are going to put on a great show every time they get in the ring.
The tough thing for me is that Mella was obviously put in the match to lose.
Yes, but you know what? At one point,
she still carried it well. At one point, I thought that she should have won.
I would have liked to see that. We've seen Asuka versus Carmella though before, and I think that was the thing that hindered her ability to win this match.
Yes, but also I thought the more people that you can have in the Rumble match that could possibly win the Rumble match is better, right? Because Carmella's not winning the Royal Rumble despite coming out at 30. Yeah, it sucks, but whatever. What I thought should have happened, and this is fantasy booking mode, but Mella wins, gets her title shot at Royal Rumble, loses to Asuka, but because she has a title shot that night, 30th overall is now open, and you leave it open. You don't know who's coming out 30th, right?
True.
And make it Becky Lynch. Make it I think Becky Lynch at 30 would have been huge. Like the aspect of whatever, right? Maybe write her off TV for the last 2 weeks.
You don't even need to do that. I agree. I think Becky Lynch should have been in the Royal Rumble. However, there's absolutely nothing saying that she still can't be in the Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah, the match might take place earlier.
We are still a couple weeks away, right? You never know. All it takes is a Ronda Rousey crossover or a Nia Jax crossover to put her out for the match or whatever, and she comes, there's ways to write her out of the match if you want to go in that direction to create more sympathy for Becky Lynch. Like, imagine, say Asuka versus Becky Lynch is supposed to open the show of Royal Rumble, and you cut backstage and you just see Becky Lynch down, hurt. Who is it that's going to challenge? Well, Charlotte's music hits.
Yeah. Oh, Charlotte betraying her.
Imagine. Yeah, Charlotte, if she betrayed her, got back finally at Becky Lynch.
Betray in the sense of they're not friends. But
yeah, like you could, or it could be an easy shot of like you just see like kendo stick bruises all over Becky Lynch, right down, and then you just see Charlotte like a silhouette of her standing there with the stick and say, "It's my time, bitch," and go out there.
Comes out at 25 or 27 or whatever, right?
Yep.
With bandages all over her body and arm.
Yep,
right?
and then be that underdog in the Royal Rumble, be the man, and then win it. Like, we're talking about a possibility here, but we're also complaining the fact that Becky Lynch is in a title match against Asuka. There's nothing wrong with that if that ends up staying that way. Just fantasy booking here on our end.
Yes.
But you know what, man? The showdown between Becky Lynch and Asuka, there is not a better person in wrestling that is more intimidating than Asuka holding up a championship, yelling Japanese in your face.
Oh,
right?
I know.
Oh, it's scary.
It's awesome, though. Yeah. That stare down did give me, like, I'm excited for the match, though.
Yep.
I'm like,
correct
it didn't
me.
go how I wanted it to.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the first time ever we're going to see a one-on-one match between Becky Lynch and Asuka, or have we gotten it before? I don't think we have. This might be
This might be the first time ever because they were both faces for a long time.
Well, I just don't think we've ever seen it. It hasn't organically come.
I don't think I don't think it was one of those ones that just at a one-on-one.
Yeah, one-on-one. Yep. And then also we are getting for the first time ever Sasha Banks versus Ronda Rousey at the Royal Rumble, which is also very awesome to see. So the women's division killing it on both sides right now. Very good. But dude, that's going to be the end of the show, I think, right?
Superstar of the week.
Oh, Superstar of the week. For me, it's Sasha Banks. She killed it in her match against Nia Jax.
For me, it's Mustafa Ali. Just because going back further as well, since he's come up, the dude has been, for stealing Becky Lynch's line, straight fire.
Yep.
He's been amazing. His athleticism, his ability in the ring, his storytelling, everything. Just
awesome.
I love him.
Yep. But we did it.
That match.
We did it, man. We're under an hour.
It was
Woo! We did it, man. Yeah,
right,
somehow. Yeah, there we go. All right, man. But
that's
too sweet. All right, bring that in right there. Actually, you got to go one sweet, and you got to. You know what? I believe we didn't even mention this. What are your thoughts, really quickly, on All Elite Wrestling? You excited?
AEW?
AEW. Yep.
So excited.
Me too.
I'm
Me too.
Also, quick.
Yep.
Jericho removed from the opening video package WWE because he signed with AEW.
Did you see what he said?
One bitter son of a bitch.
He really is. Did you see what he said? He said, "I'm all in with All Elite Wrestling."
Yeah.
So that was Jericho's quote.
For this, I am thrilled. I'm intrigued to see where Kushida goes and where Kenny goes.
Yep.
Because both of those guys are free agents right now. Both have not committed to AEW. Quick, tell me, who do you think's going where? Kushida and Kenny.
Kenny's going. No, Kenny's going to go to AEW. I don't think he's leaving his friends. I would love to see him in the Royal Rumble, but don't think it's going to happen. Kushida, I feel that NXT's going to snag him up.
I think so as well. It's tough for me both ways, but I think that might be the way that it's going to happen.
It's very tough. Could go either way, right? But anyways, that's it. That's all she wrote for us. I've been Con, and that was the Con and Bob Podcast.